It's February 13th, 2015. And I was just talking about how, about the different government individuals who I knew when they were younger, and who are all connected to each other, actually, and who I ended up being connected to again, because what was occurring is that I was getting stalked by the government, and I think they wanted to have their own son see if the same themes and things that they did to me with older men when I was a kid, if it still worked. And with mine having no idea who that these kids were, these government workers' kids who had tortured me when I was younger. So this club or whatever, I mean, I really like to dance. I didn't go to a club to look for a date or to hook up with someone, quote unquote, or find a boyfriend or a one-night stand or anything like that. I really liked hearing music that was loud and dancing. I loved to dance. I'm not going to say I was the best dancer at all, but I really enjoyed dancing. And I could dance all night and all the way up until 2 or 3 in the morning, for hours, and to me it was fun. I didn't I had like zero other motives for being there. I didn't care about really networking with people who were strangers there, or anything, or like, as I say, hooking up with someone or finding a date or whatever. I always wanted to just go with a girlfriend, so it was like a safe situation, I thought, and be able to have maybe a drink or two, and just dance and enjoy feeling the music and hearing it. And I'm a musical person myself, and it also was like really good exercise. Not like I was going there to exercise, but it was a really good way to get your adrenaline going and endorphins going, and fun. So these were all of my motives for why I was, wanting to go to a club and that kind of thing. And so when I went with Erica, she picked me up. She said she'd drive. And this was approximately, let's see, from the time that Robin raped me, I would say it was about, Robin raped me the second time around like 2009. So not 2009, 1999. So it was around 2002. Like approximately 2002, 2003, something like that. That I, maybe more like 2003. So this was like, this is like 4 years after Erica was involved in being my ride with Robin Bechtold, and a different government kid who grew up and raped me. So she said that she would drive, and she picked me up, and we went to this club. And I remember that, we were dancing and I was having fun and everything. And then this guy came over in my direction, and at the time I had thought it was completely random. At the time I didn't think, oh, this person knows who I am and they're putting themselves in my sights so that I will notice and say something that I might be possibly known to say, and or expected to say. And so, and why would I be expected to say anything or react? Well, because of possibly a similar situation when I was a kid, and what I would say or how I reacted at that time if the government used it for trying to program me or drill something into me. So, I am actually really seriously having some major pain right now. So I think I'm going to have to stop this video and then start it up again in a minute, because as I've described in some of my other videos, when the United States government has decided to target me while I'm trying to report things about them, and the last time that I did a video series of trying to report some things that were going on, and I was being tortured to the entire side of my face. And now it's they're doing the same thing to the right side of my face instead of to the left side. So before, when I was talking about things that the United States government was doing, it was my ear, my eye, the top and bottom teeth, underneath my jaw, and then right here to my neck. And now they're doing this entire thing, and starting from the head up here. And now they're doing this whole thing from here into my eye, into my ear, to my jaw and cheekbone area, which radiates over to my top and bottom teeth, underneath here to where I have a lymph node, or whatever that is over there, and then pain all the way down to this part of my neck, and down to about here, and basically a line that goes straight along the bones that are right here in your neck. So the United States government has tortured me a number of times when I'm trying to report their shit, because that's what they're full of, is shit. And this country is just a mess because of people like this. And these are the people running the FBI and the Pentagon and the CIA. And it's really sad, but it's true. They basically pick on little kids, try to make as much money out of them that they can, squeeze them, and get rich off of these kids that they isolate, and then they repeatedly rape and torture them and traffic them. They've done nothing but human trafficking of me most of my entire life, or most of my childhood. I was just being trafficked from one place to the other. So anytime someone like that tries to speak up about this horrendous government and the little shits that run it, you get tortured. And it doesn't even matter if you're not saying anything bad about them, because they want you to sound mean, or like you're somebody who curses, or as unattractive as they can make you sound, and as angry or resentful as they can make you sound. That's what they want too. Because my entire life, their main motive was to have hate crimes incited against me so that other people would do them a favor. Because if they weren't going to say I was mentally ill or couldn't rub that in well enough, they wanted to have other people trying to harm me, or think it was excusable that harm was being done to me. So, for all the Americans that have a decent life in the United States and think everything's fine and feel really proud of the U.S., to hear someone talk trash about the U.S. is uncomfortable for them. And these little shits that run this government, they know that. So they play on the patriotic sympathies of a lot of people to get what they want. But that's a tangent that I'm not going to explain further because I've already explained it in other videos at different times. And what the United States is really mostly upset about is that I didn't marry their own government men, which they tried to present to me more than one time. And that I refused to work with them a couple of times when they actually asked me to work for them. You know, so they don't like taking no for an answer. So their pattern of raping me is pretty much the same thing as their inability to accept rejection, whether it's on a work level or a personal level. And what I'm saying about Mike Tancer is that he's part of this entire government group. And anytime I've tried talking about him, I have this group torturing me or doing something to try to get me to shut up. And basically, so I was at this club with Erica Ballinger, who, to my knowledge, works for the FBI now and has for a while. And Mike Tancer came around wearing a bathrobe and some slippers, and it was the exact same kind of bathrobe and slippers that this man that I knew from the United States government, it's the exact same thing that he used to wear. And I used to tease him about it, and he used to make jokes about it, and then wanted me to tease him about it. So even though I didn't remember that man from my youth, who was connected to the U.S. government, even though I didn't remember him, when I saw Mike wearing the same slippers and same kind of bathrobe, I made a comment to him, like, aren't you afraid your toes will be stepped on? And it was the same kind of comment that I had made to this man who was wearing almost the exact same thing when I was a kid. And because I didn't recognize Mike at the time, I didn't realize this is the kid from the government workers. You know, Joy was constantly in my life. Joy and Forrest Tancer. Forrest Tancer was one of the individuals who helped train me to be raped and sexually assaulted repeatedly. And Joy did all kinds of programming and mind control games and hits, like, you know, killing people, like part of killing people operations. She was involved with that and money laundering for the government. And so I saw them both. I saw all of them a lot when I was a kid, and they're connected to the government. So I'm positive that Mike, when he decided, you know, what kind of thing he was going to wear that night, it was specifically to lure me and to put himself close enough to me that it looked casual, looked like he wasn't looking in my direction, but put himself close enough so that I would notice him, and so that he could most likely reliably find me making comments to him, which would then open up a door to having him talk to me. And the CIA does that kind of thing all the time. So does the FBI. They like to make you think that it's your idea, that you talk to them first. They don't want to be the person who came up to you and started the conversation and then have you think, you know, he came up to me and started this conversation, so what was his motive? Instead, they like to have you think, I was the one who brought up the conversation, so I'm sure they're not stalking me. So they have all kinds of ways around that. They have all kinds of ways to get someone to think that that they have initiated contact. It's a tool of the trade for these fucked up spies that work for the government. And, you know, it's like a common thing that people use in any country. But I'm calling them by swear words right now because of the things they've done to me. And so I'll describe what else he did in this next video clip.